stuff that he think I don't know about. He think he got one up on me. I don't know. He think he got a move somewhere. I told him I got a move.
The boxing world has been rocked by the news that Tank Davis was placed on federal remand for allegedly manipulating matches in his contentious bout with Lamont Roach Jr. only days after rumors of a potential inquiry started to circulate.
Hopefully the commission gets this right. It was a bummer not being declared the winner on a technicality that could be righted, that wrong could be righted, obviously, in different ways.
The claims that the fight was manipulated.
So I think Lamont Roach, I think he landed more punches throughout the fight. I think Tank was used to, figuring it out, having that slow start, figuring it out around the third, fourth round. And I think
when the final bell rang, there was controversy around the outcome. Many people thought that Roach deserved the victory because he had outperformed Davis in multiple rounds. But the 9th round was the point that raised concerns. Referee Willis appeared to start the count after Davis unexpectedly took a knee in the middle of the fight. But halfway through, Willis changed his mind and waved it off, ruling that it was not a knockdown. That one decision changed the fight's entire outcome because if Willis had counted it as a knockdown, Roach would have won the round 10-8, which could have been enough to secure a win on the scorecards. However, because the call went in Davis's favor, the fight ended in a draw, leaving fans stunned and Davis stunned. Infuriated,
No. What's your thoughts when you first heard it?
What, that they wasn't going to overturn it?
Yeah.
I mean, I expected that. I don't really see them doing that. Tank is too big of an attraction. New York, I felt like for...
After the fight, Davis was furious and said, "If you take a knee, that's a knockdown. That's just the rules the ref started counting. So why did he stop? They stole this from me." His explanation for the knee was, to put it mildly, outrageous. He claimed that his hair had been freshly done with too much grease, and when he started sweating, it dripped into his eyes and burned, forcing him to kneel. Critics pointed out that fighters constantly get sweat and blood in their eyes, so this was one of the most absurd things they had ever heard from a fighter. His team quickly filed a formal complaint with the New York State Athletic Commission, requesting a thorough investigation of the brawl and its officiating. However, the dispute didn't end there.
He take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rule.
People thought Davis was just discussing the typical boxing politics, where the fighter gets the benefit of the doubt. But in light of the match-fixing allegations, that statement has taken on a whole new meaning. Did Davis already know how the fight was going to end before it even started? Was the outcome predetermined? These are the questions that have now sparked a full-blown federal investigation. To make matters worse, Davis reportedly told Roach, "They ain't going to give it to you," the night of the fight.
Punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there's a lot of people in boxing.
Research, in my opinion. The federal government became involved after Roach's legal team brought in prominent lawyers who pushed for a more thorough investigation into the fight's outcome. They pointed out suspicious betting activity prior to the fight, with an unusual amount of money being placed on a draw. Since a draw is one of the least common outcomes in boxing, the fact that so much money was being placed on it raised serious red flags. I thought I had won a close fight, and I thought I had won a very competitive fight. I'm not saying I steamrolled him or anything. The biggest revelation occurred when detectives discovered that referee Steve Willis had given authorities important information. They began investigating whether inside information had been released to bettors who knew in advance that the fight would result in a draw.
Hey, can you see who it is? Yeah. Who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there.
Although the complete facts of what would be said have not yet been made public, sources suggest that he acknowledged that outside factors influenced his choices during the altercation. This admission was sufficient for federal officials to approach Davis, and the arrests are shocking. Davis, who has seen his share of legal issues in the past, is currently facing what may be the most dire circumstance of his professional life. Interview: if the accusations turn out to be accurate, he might be facing criminal charges that could put him in jail in addition to a boxing suspension. Boxing insiders are already making predictions about how this might impact Davis's career going forward. Some think this could be the start of the end. Some believe that his promotional company, which includes Premier Boxing Champions and Al Hayan, will do all in their ability to keep him safe and fight. But even if he stays out of legal problems, the harm to his reputation could be permanent. Interview: it wasn't difficult for me to concentrate, since I just needed to do it when my back was against the wall against the ropes, which makes me feel like it's time to show up. In response to the news, fighters and boxing personalities have taken to social media in droves. Devin Haney, one of Davis's fiercest rivals, didn't waste any time in making fun of him on social media, saying things like, "Turn the scenario a disgrace to the sport." Interview: to exacerbate the situation, several boxing rankings have since erased Davis's name. His career is already suffering as a result of Ring Magazine officially removing him from their pound-for-pound list and replacing him with David Benovitz. If the investigation yields more evidence, things could get even worse. There is already speculation that the New York State Athletic Commission may review the fight results once more and declare that Roach was the legitimate winner. In that case, Davis would not only lose his reputation as one of the best fighters in this sport, but also risk having his championship belts revoked. Interview: therefore, the question now is whether Davis will fight his way out of this, or if this will be the moment that ends his career. If the feds have enough evidence to charge him with match fixing, he could face not just a ban from boxing but actual jail time. Davis is currently sitting in remand awaiting his next court hearing. While Floyd Mayweather was never found guilty of anything this serious, Davis might not be so fortunate if the accusations prove to be true. Some have already drawn comparisons between this and previous boxing scandals, pointing out that Mayweather was accused of controlling judges and referees throughout his career. Interview: Donta, the boxing community is divided on whether Davis can recover or whether his career would be irreparably harmed now that he is in deeper water than anyone anticipated. Romero, Raleigh speaking to The Ring, Romero stated that Davis has the ability to make adjustments and secure a victory in the rematch, adding that even Paco's performance was so surprising that even Paco might not have expected it. That statement alone raised eyebrows. Romero seemed to be suggesting that Paco got lucky because if there's one thing the boxing world agrees on, it's that Paco was the better man that night. However, his words are not without controversy. Interview: Romero outboxed Davis and would have won if not for the dubious officiating. But now that Davis is being investigated by the federal government for match fixing, Romero's remarks take on a deeper meaning. Romero's description of Romero's performance suggests that it was a once-in-a-lifetime performance that Romero could never duplicate. But in reality, Romero controlled a significant portion of the fight, made Davis uncomfortable, and revealed weaknesses that no one had really tested before. Romero's attempt to minimize this could be his way of shielding his own defeat to Davis. After all, if a fighter who has never been considered elite could cause Davis all these issues, what does that say about Romero, who was knocked out by Davis in the 6th round of their 2022 bout? Interview: Romero's response to the knee incident was even more controversial. He said that none of the punches hit him, which is a damning statement given that Davis had claimed he went down because sweat was dripping into his eyes. If Romero, a fellow boxer, openly states that none of the punches landed, then why did Davis go down at all? More importantly, why did the referee start the count and abruptly stop? Romero admitted that Davis would have lost if the knee had been considered a knockdown, demonstrating how important that one moment was in deciding the fight's outcome. But let's get to the real blows. Interview. Romero avoided discussing the fact that Davis's name has been brought up in a federal investigation over fight-fixing allegations. The fact that Davis allegedly told Roach before the fight that they ain't going to give it to you, and the growing rumors that the odd betting patterns on a draw were more than just a coin incident. Instead, he concentrated on the assertion that Davis simply had a difficult night and would make adjustments. However, the real question is how Davis can focus on a rematch when he could be facing criminal charges.